Not now.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Jim Canale, America's real estate cash flow expert. And we're wrapping up in this final segment of today's program. Take it away, Joe Hurst.
Well, it's funny. I was reading Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm a big fan of education and whatnot. So I'm reading Entrepreneur Magazine. It's kind of falling in line with what you were talking about with regards to timing, Jim. Because, a lot of people, and it discusses in the article here, that a lot of people are feeling a bit directionless. In the fact that, maybe they have a job, maybe they have a business. Many people nowadays are looking to either get out of their job or being forced out of their job, one of the two. And then they're having to rely on either their savings or their 401k plan to be their retirement or at least a temporary stay for income until at which point they're back on their feet again. And, frankly, the article is talking about, it says laid off, check here. And basically, in this, it talks about what you need to do next. Not only from a laid-off perspective, but, if you're really looking to get away from something that isn't working for you in your life, and frankly, mutual funds, 401ks, and the JOB, everybody's feel a little uneasy about that kind of stuff. I think that it's really a matter of taking your life in your own hands at this point and starting to direct where you want to go and putting a life plan together. And in this article it talks about, I'm just going to kind of quote here, it says, determine the right business to start, first by identifying what you want out of life. And most of the time I'm talking to people nowadays, they're not interested in doing the daily grind anymore. It's just become an old habit.
It's the big lie.
It's an old concept. And frankly, to get involved with a business like what you're talking about, Jim, where you're talking about very little to nothing to get it, nothing to get into it,
Zero
to get into it, and being able to explore an opportunity that frankly, in this market, is just growing, where you're talking about, using the baby boomers to your advantage, and that's the whole premise of the Entrepreneur Magazine. It says, action plan, use the recession to your advantage, use the boomers to your advantage. I think you need to seriously be looking at this kind of thing and saying, all right, well, what, could this be the direction for me? So that's my 2 cents on it, Jim.
Well, just clicking on what Joe had to say. The same thing for the baby boomers. I mean, there's an awful lot of trends out there, and you have to take advantage of them. I have a few friends of mine who have over 150 bed units for the baby boomers who weren't so successful, and now they need personal health care, where they basically give you $400 a month to survive on, and you get stacked in a bed in a dorm of like a 3-floor dorm, where that's where you're going to be for the rest of your life until you pass on your days. Man. If you don't take care of yourself, that's not a reality check. I don't know what is.
What is? Yeah, what is? Jeez. Well, you're going to join us for our massive passive income event as
Certainly.
well, right? What
Yes.
time are you joining us? 11, 3, or 7?
Probably 11.
At 11. Outstanding. Well, I'm going to be there at 11 too. Listen, folks, the buzz is getting louder and louder about Saturday's massive passive income party. Interested in this thing, in starting your own passive income business, I thought I'd share this information with you before we end today's program. Robert Kiyosaki, my coach, author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, still the longest running bestseller on the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Business Week bestseller list, said this when he was asked what is the best way to increase wealth for the many. You know what he said? The number one thing people can do to increase their wealth is to start a small home-based business. Get some control right away. That's exactly what we're going to be teaching you about at the Massive Passive Party this Saturday. That's March 28th in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. 3 different times to choose from. You can be there at 11 a.m., at 3 p.m., at 7 p.m.,